All right, Aoife. So, got a new chord, a couple of strumming patterns, and zombie as well. So let's get into that. So first of all, D major. D major was the new chord. So, so now it's particularly important with D major that you get rid of the sixth string. All right. So now you don't want to be avoiding it with the pleck. You'd have to be awfully careful and reserved to actually to consistently miss it every time. So you want to take it out of the equation by getting your thumb up here and just touching it. Now remember, all you need to do here is just make contact with the string, no pressure at all. Now again, if that's messing up the rest of the chord for you, don't worry too much about it, but eventually you do want to get that on there as well, just to, because this, see the way there's a whole lot of mud down at the bottom of the chord, so you don't want that. So now with this one as well, ideally, these two fingers should be right next to each other. A lot of the time, you'll find this finger is kind of going down a little bit, which is fine as long as you hold it down hard enough to still get a note. But if you just turn your wrist this way a little bit, it goes much more easily on with these two right up to the fret. And it's just very important as well that you keep this finger dead straight, or, well, dead perpendicular, I suppose, to the fretboard as well. So it can be quite difficult to keep this out of the way of both the G string, wobbling here, there we go. So keep it out of the way of the G string and the E string at the same time. So you see the way there's no more than a millimeter there between my third finger and the G string. That's kind of where you want it to be, and standing straight up. Okay, so the first chord progression, or the first strumming pattern I should say, is this one. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now, I'm saying down, down, up, down, up, but really all you need to remember is what it sounds like, okay? Bum, ba, dum, da, 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 dum. And if you keep going down, up, constantly moving that way, the downs and the ups will sort themselves out automatically, okay? So down, down, up. And remember just to keep moving, don't hold up here, right? So that just tends to happen because there's no strum. Well, there's no audible strum there anyway. So intuitively, you think you hold off and then go, but you don't. You keep going, just pass over it without hitting it up, down, up. Okay, so I'm just going to do E minor, this one for 8 bars. Okay, ready? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, so nice and steady. And just remember as well, dynamics. So loud or quiet, I'm not saying which have to be loud, which have to be quiet, but just remember that that's something that you can add in to make it a bit more interesting. So maybe something like, sort of like two gentle ones down on the top, maybe a little hard flick on the treble strings on the way up, just to kind of make it a bit more interesting. So that's just up to you to kind of experiment around with. So then we've got Zombie, which gives us a new strumming pattern as well. Now, the basic chords that Zombie is made out of is E minor, C, G, and D. Now, I'd recommend sticking to those now just to get used, since we're only starting out with those. I want the basic sort of versions of those to be prioritized, right? But what they're actually doing is an E minor, a C major 7. So there's C, and we'll get into the theory behind all that in a little while. So there's C major 7. Just take away the first finger, that's all. And as well as that, make sure that sixth string isn't there. G6. So there's G, there's G6. Now the D chord is not quite this. The D chord is completely different. It's this. I'm pretty sure, I'm next to certain that's the chord he's doing in place of a D. That is very, not physically, but it is very closely related to the D chord. So all it is just we're going G, first finger, second fret on the sixth string, second finger, or third finger if you want, second fret on the G string, third string up. Okay. Now, the strumming pattern is a lot more complex than the one we just did there. So, again, I want you to focus on that one mostly. But here it is anyway. Same idea, moving down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up all the time, and just hitting it selectively. Okay, so we've got. But again, there's no down, 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 up, down, down. My movement is completely regular. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, da, da, da. And just keep the movement going. Even if you're skipping a whole load of them in a row, doesn't matter. Just keep it. They don't have to be like the ones you miss don't have to be full on, movements like that, but just kind of keep it there. So that way the rhythm is constantly ticking over and you'll never lose it. Okay, so, but again, I'd much prefer if you'd practice it like this, just a regular E minor, G, D, E minor, C, G, D. Okay? First of all, the basic way, in this particular instance, the basic way is actually a little bit more difficult. But it's obviously much more important that you get those versions of the chords down because those are way, way more common than the kind of variants that the Cranberries are using on that one. So, to sum it up, D major, new chord. So again, add that into the chord progressions that you've been doing. So like, take E minor and D. C and D. And just mix them up. Put one chord after the other over and over and over again. So Zombie is just one way you can do that. That's E minor, C, G, D. So, but, throw them around in another way and see what kind of results you get. And that's the main thing. Don't be too picky about how the chords sound. If you're forgetting 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 notes, that's perfectly fine. The rest will sort itself out. And just keep at it, keep grinding away. And remember that the particular strumming pattern is not too important. What matters is that you keep moving with it. Boom, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 boom, boom. Any little variations don't matter as long as the thing keeps chugging over in general. That's what you're after. All right, I'll talk to you next week.